Imagine that right at this very moment, you are nothing more than the final dream playing out inside the mind of a dying person. Right before his death, Albert Einstein uttered a single sentence that sent a violent shiver down the spines of physicists and philosophers across the globe. He stated, "Space and time are not real. They are merely persistent illusions." In 2022, Nobel Prize-winning experiments in quantum physics officially confirmed that this physical universe is not locally real. That means, when you aren't looking at something, it simply does not exist. This rock, this ground, this sky, and your very own body, everything becomes solid only when your consciousness is actively observing it. Cutting-edge research now asserts that this vast cosmos isn't a cold, lifeless machine, but a giant, living cosmic mind using your eyes to explore and experience its own creation. But before you dismiss this as mere poetry or religious philosophy, we have to confront the most terrifying glitch in modern quantum mechanics, one that continues to haunt hardline materialist scientists. Mainstream science has always taught us that matter creates consciousness, that chemical reactions occur inside the brain first and awareness emerges second. But Max Planck, the founding father of quantum physics, dealt a sledgehammer blow to this ancient belief system that echoes through research labs to this day. He declared that consciousness is fundamental and that matter is derived directly from it. Think about what that means, my friend. There were no rocks, stars, or dirt at the beginning of the universe. First came pure awareness, and that awareness rendered the entire physical world into existence. This naturally forces a sharp, uncomfortable question to surface in your mind. If the universe is one giant conscious mind, why don't we feel it? Why do we perceive ourselves as tiny, fragile human beings completely separate from the cosmos? Modern neuroscientists have burned the midnight oil trying to solve this puzzle. But the true answer lies hidden within the most mind-shattering phenomenon of quantum mechanics: quantum entanglement. According to this law of physics, once two particles interact, their connection becomes permanently locked, even if you place them at opposite ends of the cosmos, one on Earth and the other in an uncharted galaxy 10 billion light-years away. If you alter the state of the particle here, the distant particle instantly flips its state without a single microsecond of delay. Information travels faster than the speed of light. This cold, hard fact directly challenged Einstein's theory of relativity. Unsettled by the implications, he famously dismissed it as spooky action at a distance. Yet in 2022, Alain Aspect and his team were awarded the Nobel Prize for conclusively proving non-locality in the lab. Their experiment shattered the traditional scientific worldview, proving that distance, space, and separation are purely subjective illusions. At the subatomic level, every single atom in this universe is engaged in an instantaneous, continuous conversation with every other atom. You, me, and those trillions of distant stars, we are all different vibration points of one single, interconnected field of consciousness. Now we arrive at the precise mind-shattering question that keeps top-tier scientists and philosophers awake at night. It is the very query that has tormented deep thinkers for centuries, leaving them with fried synapses and racing pulses the moment they try to process it. If we are all fractional fragments of one cosmic consciousness, why do we experience this overwhelming illusion of separation? Don't make the mistake of taking this lightly, my friend. All human confusion stems right from this point. Human beings view themselves as separate from nature, and that is the fundamental flaw in our perception. To pierce through this mystery, we must step outside Western laboratories and dive headfirst into thousands of years of ancient Indian Vedantic philosophy, the Upanishads, and the deep metaphysical wisdom of the Buddha. What modern science labels the quantum field, ancient monks tapping into profound meditative states identified thousands of years ago as Brahman, or the ultimate observer. In Vedanta, this core concept is known as Advaita, non-duality. Texts like the Isha Upanishad and Mandukya Upanishad explicitly declare that the entire cosmos is held together by a single cosmic mind. Vedanta tells us that you are not a helpless, fragile wave tossing inside a vast cosmic ocean. You are the entire ocean itself, pretending to be a tiny wave. Think of it like the sun reflecting off thousands of individual clay pots filled with water. To a casual observer, it looks like thousands of different suns are shining. But what is the underlying reality? There is only one sun, producing thousands of distinct reflections. In the exact same way, a single universal consciousness is peering out from behind your eyes, my eyes, and the eyes of every living creature to experience this reality. Consider this deeply, brother. Erwin Schrödinger, the brilliant mind behind the foundational wave equation of quantum mechanics, was a devoted student of the Upanishads and Vedantic philosophy. In his book, My View of the World, he made an uncompromising claim: consciousness is strictly singular. He wrote, "The plural of consciousness is unknown. What seems to be a plurality is merely a series of different aspects of this same one thing." Schrödinger believed that individual minds are nothing more than a biological illusion. In reality, only one mind exists across the entire cosmos. This brings you face to face with an even deeper contradiction. If the whole universe is a singular conscious mind, why do mountains, rocks, and metals feel so dead and lifeless? Why does the material world appear so cold and unresponsive? The answer comes from the most revolutionary scientific hypothesis of the 21st century, panpsychism, and neuroscientist Giulio Tononi's integrated information theory. Panpsychism asserts that consciousness isn't some magical byproduct that pops out of chemical reactions inside a human brain. Consciousness is a fundamental property of matter itself, just like mass, electrical charge, or gravity. Even a single electron possesses a micro-level baseline of awareness. When electrons and atoms bind together into complex molecules, that awareness scales up. When those molecules form biological cells, awareness grows further. And when billions of neurons construct a human brain, that same fundamental consciousness expands into a full-blown, self-aware human mind. Do you see what this implies, friend? The brain doesn't generate consciousness. The brain acts merely as a TV receiver or a radio antenna. A radio doesn't produce the music playing through its speakers. It simply intercepts invisible radio waves traveling through the air and converts them into sound. If you smash that radio with a rock, the music doesn't vanish from existence. The antenna simply loses its ability to catch the signal. In the exact same way, when your biological body or brain collapses, your consciousness isn't destroyed. It simply merges back into that universal cosmic ocean. So what is the ultimate trap and most terrifying secret buried inside this cosmic game? A deeply disturbing question emerges right here. If our consciousness is actively projecting this physical reality, can we use our conscious awareness to directly bend or alter physical reality? Can the human mind override quantum probabilities? The answer to this will send shockwaves through your entire worldview. For nearly 28 years, Princeton University conducted a secret research program known as Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research, alongside the Global Consciousness Project. They deployed random number generators across the globe, supercomputers designed to output entirely random sequences of zeros and ones. According to pure mathematical law, the odds of generating a 0 or a 1 should remain split at a strict 50-50 ratio. Yet whenever a massive global event unfolded, whether global tragedies, the 9/11 attacks, mass meditations, or the FIFA World Cup final, where millions of human minds synchronized into a single emotional state, those random number generators suddenly abandoned the 50-50 baseline and began producing highly organized patterns. The data sent shockwaves through the scientific establishment. It proved that when millions of human minds focus simultaneously, their collective consciousness directly alters the physical behavior of subatomic particles and electronic machines. Your thoughts, your focus, and your awareness are continuously collapsing the universe's quantum wave functions. Earlier, we saw how microscopic observation alters particle behavior, a reality famously demonstrated by the double-slit experiment. But this research proves that your consciousness impacts global physical systems. You aren't just an insignificant player inside this cosmic game. You are both the programmer and the player. This is the exact cosmic truth that ancient mystics Buddha and Osho relentlessly emphasized. Buddha famously taught, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The world is created by the mind." when ancient spiritual masters referred to this world as a matrix or an illusion. They were describing this exact quantum matrix. On the surface, the physical world appears solid, but at the quantum level, 99.999999% of it is completely empty space. Solid matter doesn't exist. This entire world is a dynamic projection of frequency, energy, vibration, and consciousness. At this exact intersection, modern quantum science, Western philosophy, and ancient Eastern mysticism converge into a single point. What physics labels the unified field, Eastern mystics call Tao, nothingness, or Brahman. Science and spirituality are not opposing paths. They are two sides climbing the very same mountain. Science observes from the outside in, while meditation explores from the inside out. So, my friend, what does this absolute truth mean for your everyday existence? It means you are not some helpless, tiny, insignificant human wandering blindly through a cold, vast universe. You are the conscious focal point, making this universe render in real time. When you harbor anger and fear internally, you render chaos into your surroundings. When you dwell in deep peace and awareness, you render harmony into your reality. Your mind is not a passive spectator. It is a high-powered reality projector. Take a deep breath and let this mind-bending reality settle into your consciousness. You weren't born into this universe from the outside. You sprouted out of it, just like leaves sprout from a tree or waves crest from an ocean. The universe is not a dead graveyard of rocks and space dust. It is a living, breathing, pulsing ocean of infinite awareness. And you are that awareness. But hold on, brother. There is one final dark mystery left that will completely short-circuit the circuits of your mind. If we are all part of a single, universal consciousness, what if this entire human civilization, your personal memories, your past, and the very act of you watching this video right now, is all just a solitary hallucination engineered by a single conscious entity trying to escape eternal loneliness? What if you are the only mind that exists in the entire cosmos, and everyone else is just a non-player character rendered by your brain to escape absolute isolation? In philosophy, this terrifying glitch is known as solipsism and the cosmological lone god paradox. This is the ultimate existential trap we will decode in our very next transmission, where we untangle the solipsism trap and the reality illusion. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it right now, my brother. The next episode will knock down whatever walls of reality you have left.